When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hey guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. Let's get right into this thing. As we start our story in a different realm, they seem to be still in the middle of still seems to be in the Middle Age era, where kings rise, where dragons conquer the skies, where elves protect their woods, where dwarves mine materials to create superior crafted dwarven weaponry. And finally, we have the humans that decided they're going to fight back against all the dragon attacks, burning down their cities and stealing their livestock by swooping down from the sky and just taking whatever they want. In typical human nature, one family stuck out from the rest, as they were known to be the very first dragon slayers, the Death Scales. As the Death Scales find ways to combat these flying lizards. Little by little bit, they got better, training, magic, until they become the prominent family as they are now. The Death Scales believes the only good dragon is a dead one. Compared to the rest of the kingdom where they reside, they're far more different. They resembled ancient Japan when it comes to their weaponry in their buildings and the customs. Some customs that they did adopt. That's quite similar to ancient Japan. Several of the Death Scales throughout the generations were killed by dragons, and most of them did survive the dragon sieges. With the help of the kingdom's military force and what Dragon Slayer family did come out of the woodwork because of the Death Scales, they somehow managed to fight back the dragon raid that raided almost the entire kingdom and drew back the dragon to where their hiding place. Back to their hiding place. The Death Scales' knowledge of hunting down dragons only increased over the generations. The most powerful tool they have to their arsenal is their magical prowess, using elements to fight dragons alongside with magically enforcing their dragon slayer weapons that were made out of the very bones of the dragons they slayed. But the most talented one in their family has vast potential. Is the youngest son of the branch family, or the main branch family, of the Black Scales. Out of the 4 siblings of the main house, the youngest is the more superior one when it comes to magic. He demonstrated that when he was only 4 years old by lifting all the furniture in the dining room when his mother was talking to one of the staff. And only in a year's time, he was able to perform his very first spell that was on the lowest meter of spell casting, but he was managed to perform it perfectly. After all, he was only casting beginner spells. For some reason, Wrath Death Scale demonstrated that he has a high intelligent level. He's far more intelligent than the rest of his siblings when they were his age. He's far more talented in the craft of magic. That simple fact made him stick out. So he didn't really have any chances to make friends. It was filled with magic training and hand-to-hand and weapons training to prepare him for the time when he takes his very first hunt. Without having pe- sorry, without having friends, he doesn't have no distractions, so he could concentrate on his training. As he caught on to things very easy, and it was clearly noticed in his performance. Even though his parents knew fully well how strong their son is, but they wanted to wait till he got the appropriate age to go on his first hunt. Regardless, he's still a child. So they were very strict in his upcoming. So when Wrath turned 13, his older sister got their approval of their parents so she could take him to his very first experience, viewing how a dragon is properly hunted down and killed. His sister believes that he's not quite ready for a actual hunt yet. He's far too young. He needs to let his body develop so he'll be strong enough to wield a weapon properly. Rose Descal has always her little brother far more gently, a lot more nicer compared to how she interacts with the rest of her siblings. Rose favors her little brother because of how close of a bond they have. She's a lot more overprotective than her own mother when it comes to her little brother Wrath. Wrath and his mother do have a good relationship, but he's had a lot more closer. He's a far more closer to his elder sister. She's the most intelligent one out of them compared to to compared to his other siblings. She's only she's the only one he could stand being around for long periods of time. As Wrath and Rose are in the carriage on their way to the last location, they know where the dragon was last recorded. They've been following their magical aura. Well, her and her team are tracking the magical aura of the dragon using some sort of round stone. All right, little brother, you need to pay attention to everything, every minor detail. You will be, especially the skills that are going to be used today to slay this dragon. These skills are very important. You will be learning these in the near future. These are all skills that dragon slayers are that dragon slayers have access of. As a group of dragon slayers approach the cave, I want you to observe. Stay by the carriage and observe. After you watch the dragon to be hunted down and killed, I want you to tell me how would you take the dragon down if you were put in that situation. Said sister, I'm not stupid enough to go in there blindly without knowing how to kill the damn dragon. I'm not an idiot like that moron of a brother sorry. I'm not an idiot like that moron of a brother of ours. Can't disagree with you there, little brother. He tends to get himself into a lot of dangerous situations. that could have been clearly avoided. You're giving that peon too much credit. He kind of deserves the crap he gets, considering what I've been hearing all around the main house. He goes without a plan, try to slay a dragon, then, then the idiot wonders why everyone that joins him in his hunts, ends up dead. That's why you're my favorite. As she ruffles her brother's hair, not really caring if he likes it or not, even though she just has to look downwards to see his clearly irritated face by his sister's actions. You see those two approaching the cave? As by this point, they're already stopped the carriage and were standing in front of the carriage. They've already exited already by now. As they're stopping in the middle, as they stop to slide on the main road, they're going to be throwing something that our great grandmother thought of. The ingredients in it, in it itself, she personally found the ingredients itself to create these smoke bombs. One ingredient is completely useless alone, but combining them all together, dragons seem to like the scent, so it's a good tool to draw those damn beasts out so we could kill them. It's approaching. Ras saw a medium-sized green western dragon, not fully grown, but big enough to cause damage if it ever ventures into one of the cities that are nearby. You see the rest of the team? They're going to try to corner and sorry, as they let's try that again. As they're going to try to corner the dragon on all sides, as they're going to split out in small teams to keep the dragon, making him concentrate on all around him instead of one spot. If you all, if they all lined up together in one spot, they wouldn't last very long. The dragon would have killed them. It's all about strategy, little brother. As mindless as these creatures are, they do have somewhat of a intelligent. It would be intelligence, but let's continue. You see, they're slowly but surely wearing him down. Then I could come in for then I could give the finishing blow. Hunting a dragon in a hunt, it's all about teamwork. Everyone has their part to play. That's the very basics of being a dragon slayer. It's very rare for a dragon slayer to slay a dragon by himself or herself. That's why you'll be learning the skills in case you found yourself in that situation. I will not have my little darling little brother unprepared. So I have no intention of letting that happen to you. So I suggest you get ready. Because my training will begin as soon as we get back to the compound, little brother. Training, but you never train anybody, even though they constantly ask you daily, and you deny them every time. My dear little brother, my training is not for for the weak of heart. I'm going to put you through the most brutal method of training that that I'm allowed to. Apparently, my normal training is too inhumane. At least that's what mother said, and at least that's what mother and father said. My training could be quite brutal, and if anyone else from the lower branches took it, they would most likely die. But that's not my problem if they're too weak. don't know who in their right mind would actually go through that crazy training. That may be so, little brother, but you don't have a choice about you don't have a choice in the matter. I think it's about time your big sister finished this up. As she slowly approaches the green western dragon, as she slowly unsheathed, as she unsheathed slowly and pulled out her katana, that was made with a magical metal that they used to forge their swords with dragon bones during the process when they make their blades. As the blade itself, after being forged in such a way, is very dangerous for a dragon. As the dragon tried to crush the the dragon slayers with his claw, Rose came in and came. Sorry, she rushed forward, came in, and slashed the dragon, the dragon's skin across his back of his palm, of his claw, piercing the skin. As the dragon roared out in pain, as as the humans at the humans that dare try to hurt him, everyone get back and regroup. Then flank, then flank the dragon. Split off into units. It's it's about time we kill ourselves like oversized lizard. While you engage on the side, I'll deal with the dragon up nice and close and personal. With her command, they immediately backing up and began flanking the dragon from both sides, while Rose continued her assault in the front, slashing her sword, trying to cut through the outer layer of the dragon. That's like diamond armor. While she's blasting the dragon in the, while she blast, sorry, switch again. As she blasts the dragon with her opposite hand with magical spells in the face, keeping him confused until she could get a clean thrust through the heart. As she stroked her index finger across her blade, on the side of the blade, as some sort of magical sigils start to appear on the sword, as strong magical aura emanates, it can be felt on the blade itself, as magical blades. They do have a small magical aura, like all magical weapons do. But with this magical technique that Rose Descale invented herself, it's a very useful technique to fight against dragons at this current level. With this sword technique, it doesn't work on elder dragons, but this one, it's quite young compared to older dragons. So this technique would work perfectly against it. And also, she wants to show off. Her little brother is present, so she just wants to impress her little brother and boast her ego. She deeply cares about her little brother, but she would never pass a opportunity to show off that she's a badass. She likes to remind people of her talents, regardless if they want to ignore it or not. That's one of his sister's traits he dislikes the most, her showboating. When she started to get ready to swing her katana, the blade started to glow with magical sigils, well, that are still glowing pretty brightly, that just appeared on the blade. It seems to be covered with a black magical light, as she swings her katana towards the dragon, as a black sword slash shoots towards the green western dragon, hitting it in the face, as there is a deep cut across its snout. As the dragon roars at Rose, as she continuously to slash her sword slashing technique towards the dragon, making deep cuts right through the dragon's outer armor and piercing the soft skin below. When the green western dragon tried to take flight to escape the area, both of his wings get chopped into millions of pieces before the dragon could even get off the ground, as it screams out in pain. The moment Rose noticed the dragon was about to breathe in heavy to unleash his dragon fire, she rushed forward to jump in the middle of the air, then land on the dragon's head and dig her katana through the dragon's skull, hoping it would pierce the brain. With her opposite hand, she shot out. She used a electric spell, shocking through the mouth as electricity travels through the whole dragon's body. Began tossing major-size round bombs using black powder that they came across one time in the wild while they were mining for materials. It's a recent discovery, so it's in the early stages of a development, but the death scales has the intelligence to minimize the potential of black powder at their current stage of development when it comes to their technology they have access to. Nothing too serious. They're still stuck in the medieval age, so they won't have anything major. As she jumps off the dragon's snout and infused her blade with black electricity, gave the dragon a large slash on the upper part of the dragon's chest. Her attack made serious damage as she launched her blade into the dragon's heart, then twisted her blade, then yanked it out of then she yanked the blade out, then swiped her sword to the side, making sure she as all the blood started to splatter onto the ground as she slowly sheathed her weapon. As the dragon organs that were responsible for their ability to create fire erupts as the dragon explodes from the inside out. Harvest whatever you can and destroy the rest. As the rest of the dragon slayers start to harvest the dead corpse of the western dragon, as she approaches her little brother, I hope you I I hope you paid attention, little brother. Now, while the memories are still fresh in your mind, how would you kill that dragon just now if you had to slay it? I would do the same to a certain point. I would have a group of slayers flanking the dragon on all sides, then focus my attention towards his wings so it doesn't become a aerial battle. Then when I then I would have minimized the dragon's damage from his fire by simply using burial magic. I would concentrate my efforts getting through the thick hide of a dragon and pierce his vital organs, either by the brain or heart, killing the dragon. But that's all just simply theory. I also don't have the necessary knowledge or sword skills to to even pierce that level dragon skin. Their hides are known to be quite thick. That's an acceptable answer, little brother. I want you to practice your sword stance. Take take this practice sword. Just don't just don't steer too far away from the carriage. It's going to take us a while before we harvest everything else and properly dispose of the body. Don't practice too far away from the carriage. I just need some space to practice. The moment the siblings made it back to the compound, Rose immediately started Wrath's training. She taught her little brother several powerful spells that would be essential for slaying dragons, along helping him develop his very own sword technique using magic. After a full year of his sister brutal training, he improved greatly with his abilities, and for the simple fact that he picked up things fast, his growth was insane, even compared to his family standards. Into talent to improve on a skill or a spell that he saw things can things can give me a second, guys. Things that can be improved to make the spell far more dangerous. He found creating spells and modifying them is quite enjoyable. When he got his magic skills to the current level where he was most most satisfied with, then he concentrated more on sword training and spear training. The day has finally arrived for him to take part in his very own hunt. This will be his first dragon kill because he's from the main branch family, and he has been recognized as to be quite skilled. So he gets to kill his very first dragon a year early. As his first hunt was requested by Wrath himself to be a solo hunt. Af- after getting After finally getting his parents' approval to go on a solo hunt, his mother thought the idea was crazy, but his big sister Rose stuck up for him. She informed her mother that her son is quite trained and ready to take part in a solo hunt. She's been preparing him for this very reason. She had a feeling her little brother would do something, would request something like this. After all, she would tell him stories about her very first hunt. She killed her first dragon by herself. Afterwards, she mostly did she mostly killed other dragons from that point further in groups because she barely survived that encounter. After he gathered the necessary supplies for a long period hunt, he doesn't know how long this trip is going to be or how hard it's going to be to find a wild dragon in the wild, but he has a few ideas where a dragon may be. He put all of his weapons and resources he needs for this dragon hunt in his pocket dimension that he learned from his older sister. After a full day on the road, he decided to stop for the night as he found a good spot to camp. As he went into the woods to gather some firewood to to start a campfire back at the campsite. When Wrath was gathering firewood, he heard cracks from leaves and sticks behind him as he sees a bunch of three-headed dogs come out of the shadow, growling and circling around Wrath like a predator is about to strike their prey down. As Wrath slowly unsheaths his katana with some sort of magical sigils engraved into it. What the hell? What the hell? What did I get myself into? Deathhounds? This is not Deathhound's territory. These mutts never ventured this far out. Regardless, I need to take these mutts out as fast as I can. And I have no idea how big their pack is. They're well known to travel in huge packs. At least that's what I got from the monster index. Well, the monster index is basically where they keep all the information about when you're hunting a specific monster. It might be dragon slayers, but they hunt down monsters as well. You get good profit from it. I'm trying to kill dragons and stupid monsters, but with my skills, they should be able to work just fine against these monsters than it would against a dragon. Of course, staying in the wide open like this is pretty much suicidal. Don't know how big the pack is. I need to get out of the open as soon as possible to think of a strategy. If they have a greater number, then if they have a greater number, then I won't be able to handle it. Ah, that cave is that cave should be a good option. It's not desirable, but it's better than being stuck out in the wide open, in the woods. They'll eventually overrun me. Fighting in a narrow space is not ideal, but I have magic to fall back on if I can't use my blade. According to what I read, those damn things able to breathe fire for some reason. I just need to keep that in mind when I'm going forward. As one of the death hounds rush towards Wrath, trying to get a good biteful of his flesh, only for that death hound to get slashed right through the body, then explode afterwards. As Wrath just used one of his sword techniques, he developed exploding sword slash. As soon as the slash lands, it explodes immediately afterwards. The monster or it works against all creatures, monsters, dragons, people. The slash would. I keep losing my place. The slash would explode, causing for further damage. This technique would be a one-shot if it was used against a mere human, but not so much for a monster or a dragon. But with Wrath's luck, the way he slashed the Death Hounds, it most likely did not survive. The Death Hounds immediately started to scatter. When pieces of flesh to scatter all around the area because of it being exploded from his first initiative of attack against one of these Death Hounds. With light magic, Wrath used light magic to blind the remaining hounds as he began to run towards the cave, as one of the Death Hounds was in his way. As he cleanly slashed right through the hound, cutting it in half, as he continued without stopping. If he wasn't in such a hurry, he would have saw the warning signs that was written on some sort of stone tablet thing that's sticking out of the ground. He wouldn't even be able to understand it. He doesn't really understand Elven language too well. He knows a few things, but but not much. The moment he entered the cave, he noticed the death hounds started to slowly back up, as like they were scared of stopping them from going into the cave. At the same time, they're not going very far. So Wrath knows if he exits the cave, they'll immediately attack him again. As he slowly noticed their numbers start to increase drastically, making his only option going through the cave. If he's lucky, there might be a exit, in a second entrance, so he could get out of there. As he used one of his spells, as he created a small round light, a small round light orb, as it casts light all around him in the pitch black cave, giving him the necessary light to see where he's going, as it floats around him, wherever he goes. Ath may not have killed a dragon yet, but he's killed many monsters during his training, so monster hunting is nothing new for him. I mean, of course, there's a couple monsters that he hasn't fought against, but he has the majority of the information that's been recorded. He knows there's a good possibility there's something nasty in this cave because because of how the death hounds were behaving. When he got deeper into the cave. Sorry, try it again. I messed it up. When he first entered the cave, he noticed that the death hounds refused to go in. So that should have been a big warning sign that there's something nasty down here. The deeper he explored in this cave, it has a very complex cave system. At some point, he found himself entering a very old ruin that was filled in the cave system. Instead of a normal cave wall, he entered a stone tunnel with a bunch of unfamiliar language he doesn't quite recognize. He could see hints of Elvish, and Draconic letters, basically bumbled all together. There's been rumors of elder dragons able to talk, but he's never seen one himself, so he doesn't have no proof. But but he does expect that might be true. He's heard elder dragons are far more intelligent than the rest of their species. He won't totally believe it until he actually sees one talk to him. So he's extremely cautious exploring this unknown ruin. Only word he can recognize throughout all the carving in this tunnel is the word void, but he can't understand anything else. He knows a little bit of Elvish, but nothing too advanced. These two language combined with each other, the likelihood he's will be able to fully understand everything is pretty much impossible. When he entered the first room, he activated a small trap. The dust, sorry, the room was quite dusty. The dust concealed the magical portal or circle that he entered, as it teleported him deeper into the ruin. The moment he noticed he was teleported, he drawled out his blade and made a magical shield ready to engage combat if there's any hostiles. But when he was teleported, he was in a room filled with water up to his ankles. Only thing he could see in the room, or only thing that Wrath can see in the room, is a humongous white tree in the middle of the room filled with water. When he approached, some sort of tree monster burst out of the tree's trunk. With his sharp teeth and claws, by further expression, or sorry, inspection. I can't pronounce that. Inspection. Wrath noticed the monster has no legs, but still managed to move around pretty fast by using those wooden tendrils. As it snarled at Wrath, as it rushed forward with its sharp wooden claws, trying to tear the flesh off of him. And for some reason it stopped. The moment he decided to walk halfway towards the tree, towards the creature on the other side, seeing a doorway on the opposite side of the room, the creature started to scream out towards the young man. As he continued to rush forward, or continue again to rush forward towards him, as Rez conjured a minor fire spell, as the creature decided to get some distance, as after he shot out a couple of fireballs. As he swung his wooden tendrils at Wrath, only for Wrath to jump backwards, further away from this tree monster. Rash gets into a fighting stance as he drug out his finger across his blade. As he started from the tip of the sword and made his way to the guard. As the blade starts to glow red, like the metal is heating up with some sort of heat. As he unleashes a slash towards the creature. As a fire sword slash flies towards the abomination. At least that's what Wrath thinks. As the monster maneuvers around the flying blades slash, only for one of the tendrils to be cut off. As he burrowed into the ground, escaping any further attacks. As several tendrils start to burst out of the ground from the tree monster, beginning attacking Wrath, forcing him to dodge and parry any of the tendrils that got in close for striking a hit, for landing a hit. And with the water concealing the evidence where the monster is burrowing through, it's making his job a whole lot harder. The monster is being very unpredictable, putting Wrath on the back foot. This battle with this type of monster is not going to be so straightforward when it comes to, it won't be a straightforward fight. It seems like this monster is highly intelligent. To what extent, Wrath is not too sure of yet. He knows the floor of the, or sorry, as he knew the floor of the room is pretty much dirt. He's unsure how far the dirt goes, or where the water is even coming from. But there must be some sort of water system connected with the room, and the water seems to be rising slowly, but the water now is finally reaching up to his knees. He needs to find a way. He needs to find a way to end this fight fast before he's no longer able to move around as fast. The water is going to be a big major problem if it gets even higher. With the water slowly rising, he has no idea if the water will stop at some point. So so he needs to get to the exit as fast as possible. There's a dozen monster tendrils blocking the way to the other side of the room. It seems to be waiting for him to spring some sort of trap. Wrath caught on to the what the monster is plotting. Walking blindly into a ambush is something he doesn't want to do. He's running out of time. He can't use electricity. He can't use electricity magic. He would rather not get electrocuted by his own spell in this pool of water. So that's out of the question. So he's stuck with air type magic, fire, water, ice spells. And with plenty of water to work with, he's able to use water spells as well. He put his katana back in its sheath and get ready to begin round 2 with magical attacks. This room has the perfect environment for him to use water spells. For offense, he can't use water spells anywhere he wants. There has to be access of water for him to be able to use it. He can't make water appear out of thin air. Some mage can, but he's unable to. This is the perfect opportunity for him to experiment with a couple spells he's been unable to use just because there wasn't enough water source to perform it. It's a very complex water spell. As he begins the process of trying to start the spell, several wooden tendrils come from the monster, trying to impel Wrath without him knowing, forcing him to burn them away to ash while running forwards towards the entryway, only for the tendrils to wrap around his waist and throw him against the opposite side of the room. As he used some wind spells to cushion his fall from being tossed like a rag doll in the middle of the room, or from the other side of the room, basically. As he infused a fire spell with his katana, when he unsheathed it, as Wrath ran forward as much as he can, as he jumped to the side and used some minor water spells to cut some of the tendrils off. As he's finally approaching near the end of the room, or the other side of the room, as the wooden tendrils try to stop him. As the tree monster bursts out of the ground, trying to stop him from leaving, leaving, leaving through the other side of the room. Wrath disappeared at the last moment before the wood monster land a hit. As the monster gets chopped in half, as each part of the monster bursts into flames, as he saw where he needed to go, as the doorway starts to seal itself, as he had no choice but to dive through, only barely making it, as the wall slowly closed upon itself, sealing the room, sealing the doorway so he can't re-enter that way, leaving him no choice but to walk forward. He saw a torch along the wall of the hallway as he snapped his finger as all the torches in the hallway start to light up by using his magic. As he makes his way down the hallway, making sure he's very aware of his surroundings, making sure there's no hidden traps. When Wrath finally entered the next room, The only thing he saw was a floating orb that is about the size of a human skull. As Raz stepped forward, or forward towards the floating orb, he noticed something was inside it. As he decided to take a closer look to see some sort of shadow creature trapped inside it. A human? Now that's a rare find. What can I... Can you do a shadow monster a favor and happen free me? Why would I do that? There must be a reason why you're trapped in there. If I explained that to you, we would be here all day. So I won't be going into the minor details about me being trapped here. But if you free me, I would be able to guide you to the exit. I bet you would like that, human. Would you? Because sorry, give me a second, guys. Unfortunately, without my help, you won't get out of here alive. This ruin is quite a labyrinth, and I am the only one that knows the way and the knowledge of the layout. So you're going to have to free me. It's in your best interest. In your survival. You humans do like to survive, don't you? Fine, if you try anything, I'll make sure you wish you were still in that orb. No reason to make threats, human. I'm a friendly shadow monster. I would never cause humans harm. Me? I'm a good monster. I highly doubt that. I need to study this magical sigil. Well, I need to study this magical circle a little more. The sigils are interesting. So, whatever you are, quiet, no talking. Of course, human. When Ras turned around, you see the shadow monster has an evil smile on his face. He clearly has some sort of bad intention towards Wrath. While dragging his finger across the magic sigils, as the floor starts to emanate electricity, as the sigils start to glow a bright purple, as the magic that was placed over the floating orb got dispelled, the seal is no longer active. Wrath caught the orb before it hit the ground. You clever human. Now, would you please release me? Not gonna happen. Not until I find the exit. If you get me through, if you don't try anything funny, I'll free you when we get to the exit. Not before. I can't be mad at that. Are you sure you're human? You're pretty clever. To find a little loophole there, human. Very well. I accept your terms. You're up to something, are you? If you weren't up to something, you wouldn't be cackling the way you are. Me? Up to something? Never! I'm a good little shadow monster. I like to help humans. I like to be helpful. I personally can't stand your species. But you're different. I like you. You're a clever one. Take the hallway to the right. That will lead you to the area where you need to go to find the exit. But there's a monster guarding the exit. As long as you as long as you don't keep it intact and you fully destroy it, the exit will appear. What type of creature you're talking about, shadow monster? A undead? Is that going to be a problem for you, my crafty little human? Human? I'm also curious why haven't any of the other monsters that attacked us? The hallway seems to be pretty much vacant. The reason of the reason is because of me, of course. Some of the lesser monster knows their place. We're approaching the chamber now. As Raz sees a big undead on a throne, directly behind directly behind the undead is a large purple crystal that's covered in magical writing and a black chain wrapped around it. As long as that crystal and that undead is still around, the exit won't reveal itself to you. Yet, I have no doubt you could handle yourself, clever human. You lying to me? Who knows? I am a shadow monster after all. Can you trust? You, sorry. You have no choice but to trust me, considering your situation. You don't have much of a choice of the matter. Damn monster. As he sat down the orb, right against the wall, then he walked further into the chamber room. Raz got close to the undead skeleton. Just forget about the upside down cross. That's not part of the picture, but let's continue forward. As the eyes of the undead begin to glow red, as he gets up from his throne and pick up the huge axe that was laying against the right side of the throne, as the undead rush forward with surprising speed for his size, as the skeleton guardian swung downwards with his humongous axe, making Wrath diving to the side to invade, being chopped in half, as a white magic circle of appeared in front of the undead skeleton guardian, as he conjured a wind tornado. After when the wind dissipates, Wrath only sees the spell barely had any effect on the skeleton of the guardian skeleton. Or the skeleton guardian. Whatever. The skeleton guardian simply jumped up in the middle of the air and charged up some sort of energy and blasted out of his mouth, heading towards Wrath. Wrath was left with no choice but to create a barrier. The skeleton guardian came out of nowhere and smacked through the barrier, shattering it and slamming him on the flat side of his axe, breaking through the barrier quite easily, making him draw his katana at the last moment to block it, to somewhat stop his descent. If he didn't block that attack with the sword, he would have been heavily injured. I know how to get rid of you, you undead abomination. As he decided to use some of the rare light spells that he practiced with, as medium-sized magic circles appear all around the undead skeleton, as a ray of white holy energy shoot out of the magic circle, hitting the undead skeleton. As the skeleton give out a loud screech, as the skeleton guardian slowly cracks until the whole skeleton shattered and caught on fire what was left after being hit by the holy beam of light. The crystal behind the throne, As the chains break off, as the crystal slowly starts to crack, I had a feeling something like this was going to happen. God damn that sly shadow monster. You stupid human, you actually did it. I can't believe you actually did it. Honestly. Think you actually helped me. Think your species think you're superior to the shadow monsters. Don't make me laugh. You've done it now, pathetic human. My master, he's finally free. Enjoy what time you have left, because I'm highly looking forward to enjoy your tears. I messed it up. Enjoy when he tears you to pieces. And mostly, I'm going to especially enjoy, personally, on a personal level, when he tortures you, slowly, by my ad, and savor all the despair you give off. It will be quite a tasty meal. You see, human, I'm the type of shadow monster that don't eat flesh, even though the idea is appealing to me. My kind feed off the negative emotions like anger, betrayal, pain, suffering. And you, my little human, you're going to be quite a tasty meal for me. Very tasty. As a undead void dragon emerged from the crystal, as the dragon opens his glowing purple eyes for the first time in centuries, I'm finally free. I won't fall for that same trick again, filthy elves and those damn dragon traitors. As he looks around, he notices he sees a human. A human. Interesting. Are you the one responsible for freeing me, mortal? And I sense my loyal servant nearby. Where are you, parasite? Right here, master. I'm at your humble beck and call, master. It seems like you found yourself trapped in a crystal ball. Let's fix that, shall we? As the dragon eyes begins to glow brighter, as the crystal begins to crack, as the shadow monster is finally free from his prison. Finally, much better. What is your orders, my master? To remain quiet. I have to conversate. I have to have dialogue with the human. I knew you had something to do with me being free. You've always been a shifty one. Now, human, who are you? Family name. I want it. Filthy dragon, I'll tell you my name. After all, it'll be the last name you hear before I kill you. Kill me? Oh, that's adorable. To think a little human could strike me down, that's laughable at best. Not even the whole Dragon Council could take me out. They had no choice but to seal me, because I'm far more superior to those maggots. And you think a little single human can do something they could not? Don't insult my intelligence, boy. Dragon Council, what are you talking about? I'm more than willing to reveal some information, as long as you reveal your name, human. Death scale. Oh, this is just perfect. To think of a black scale. Sorry, this is just perfect. Yeah, I can see it. Black hair, superior attitude, hatred for dragons. You're definitely a death scale. To think, a dragon slayer freed me from my imprisonment. Now that's funny. I'll think I'll laugh. As the dragon starts to beginning to cackle and laugh, as the boy dragon found this whole situation hilarious. Now that I had my fun, let's get down to business, shall we? Yes, dragons do have a dragon council. I was once on that council myself, until those bastards betrayed me and sealed me here. I know your family has quite the hatred for my kind. Let's strike a deal, shall we? After all, we do have a common threat. We do have a common foe. Why would you even think I would work with a dragon? I would rather kill you than work with one. I would rather kill one than work with one. That is true. But eventually, the Dragon Council will get rid of your little family. They will slaughter them. If they ever consider your family a threat. Or if they're just bored. Even when I was on the council, your family wasn't well liked when it comes to the dragons. It's only a matter of time before some of the members on the Dragon Council would want to finally get rid of the most prominent dragon slaying family. At least that's how they were back in my day. So what do you say? You want to join me in killing some dragons? Dragon Slayer. And don't worry, I could tell you haven't slain a dragon yet. You just don't have that aura. That's an easy fix though. What do you say? As he morphed into his human form, as he has his hand stretched out towards Wrath to shake it. Unlike the rest of the councils, I've always liked your family. You showed promise. Wrath knows that this is not a request. This is pretty much a demand. As he is left with no choice, he doesn't think he could take this dragon out. It seems to be a elder, and he knows he's nowhere skilled enough to take on a elder. Taking down or fighting an elder alone is guaranteed suicide. It is a guaranteed death. As he's forced to agree. Fine, you got yourself a deal. Smart move, Wrath. Wrath feels pain on the palm of his hand as a black tattoo appeared on his hand. The hell did you do, dragon? Relax, Dragon Slayer. I only simply place a contract seal on your hand. We'll be able to keep in communicate. We should be able to keep in contact that way with each other. Please follow me, and I will show you the way out. After all, you still had a hunt to go to complete, young Dragon Slayer. We will be in contact soon. As the Void Dragon, still in his humanoid form, as he teleports Wrath out of the labyrinth. Once he stepped out of the magic circle, he was teleported outside. Well, he basically transported him outside anyway. Let's continue. As he covered the tattoo up with gloves, and continued his to conceal the symbol on his right arm, proving that he made a contract with the Void Dragon. As he looked back at the cave one last time, then he turns his attention towards the road. as soon as you're no longer useful, dragon, and when I have the proper power, I'm gonna slay you. And that shifty little shadow monster. Working with this dragon, if we're able to actually land a devastating blow on the dragons, that that would be a game changer. If we're even able to manage to kill the whole council, they're most likely all elder dragons, and that would make a power vacuum. Then we could go in, swoop in, and kill and slay the stragglers. I totally messed that up, but now that I know the rumors that are true about the elder dragons are true, I'll keep that in mind in my future plans. I need to get stronger. I also need to inform mother and father of this situation. They most likely won't be happy about the contract that I was forced to sign a contract. We simply have to use this dragon for our own ends and to kill the whole dragon council and the people in charge. When the people in charge are dead, we'll just swoop in and kill the stragglers. There is no way we there is no way we could let this opportunity pass us. I won't. Are you sure that's wise, Master? To work with the human. You know he's going to betray you. After all, I am the master of that. I know the look when I see it. Of course he's going to betray me. I'm expecting it. He's a death skill after all. It's not the first time that family had no choice but to join forces with a dragon before. The family despises the dragon species, but when it comes to the right situation, willing to bend their beliefs a little bit. After all, they have joined temporary alliance with dragons in the past. We'll use him and his family. After all, he's a death scale, so of course he would report to the Chin Command like the good little soldier that he is. I will successfully kill the council this time around. I'll get I'll get rid of any other Dragon Slayer families when I take power. And when I take control, I plan to make sure I obliterate every Dragon Slayer clan that could possibly challenge my authority. When I finally make my move to finally kill those council members, I'm going to absorb their souls, increasing my power. They will fall, I will rise, and everything will be in their right order of things. If anyone is foolish enough to challenge me, I will erase them from existence completely, like they were never there to begin with. And the young Dragon Slayer is responsible for all this. I will spare him, of course. After all, he would make a good servant to a god. Now, Parasite, I want you to keep an eye on our new ally and keep me informed of his movements. Of course, Master, as you command. As the shadow monster disappeared into the shadows, I might have to give the young Dragon Slayer the proper motivation to move things along. Hatred is a good motivator. I love it. I love it how my mind works. This is going to be fun. The Void Dragon morphed himself into a humanoid form, wearing some black armor, as the family crest of the Death Scales is engraved onto it. As he steps through a humongous portal, while wielding a humongous sword as he exited into a village of dragonkin. He began slaughtering everyone he saw, making sure everyone saw the family crest on his armor, making sure everyone knows that the Death Scales is responsible for this attack, so he can manipulate events that are about to happen. As he beginning to kill the Dragonkin, leaving evidence behind who was responsible for massacring these people. As written in blood, Black Scales was left behind, leaving the council no choice but to act, to strike against the Black Scales. And when his family tragically dies, he'll swoop in for support. Leaves the rest of the Black Scale or Death Scales would not agree upon this contract. So he's going to remove them from the equation. He can't outright kill them himself, so he's using the Dragon Council as the proper motivation for the boy. He currently has no idea what the leadership of Black Scale is like, or Death Scales are like in this current time. And when the dragons do finally attack that poor Dragon Slayer family, he'll swoop in and give him the support and ensure his vengeance by promising basically anything he wants. After losing his entire family, he'll give the boy plenty of chances to slay dragons, and act sympathetic to his situation to earn his trust bit by bit. And when I have my claws in him, I will corrupt him, make him like the perfect servant. I'll have my own Dragon Slayer at my command. As you see the humanoid dragon begin slaughtering more villagers, after butchering enough of the population that he's totally satisfied. As like with prior, he wrote in blood Death Scales across the village. And with the mark he left on the hand of the human, it will slowly corrupt his mind, making him more willing to see things the Void Dragon's way. I can't wait. Your days are numbered, O mighty council. With his connection with the young Dragon Slayer, he'll slowly release void energy into the contract seal, slowly corrupting the human and clouding his mind. As he opened a portal to an unknown location to establish his base of operation, to begin manipulating things in the background for his further plans. When he finally left the Dragonkin village, the survivors exit where they were hiding. Of course, the Void or the dragon was fully aware where they were hiding, but he wanted to make sure they were some witnesses left behind, as he did it on purpose so they would tell the Dragon Council what transpired here today, making sure that Death Scale family is on their hit list. And that's where we're going to cut it. Hope you guys have a good night and day. Enjoy my time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.